High school drop-ins. Episodes like this don't feel like a Sabrina story because most of its focus is just on the monster characters that clearly don't belong in the show. High school drop-ins has a forced plot where Sabrina somehow puts up with monsters trying to go to her school, being blatantly obvious about being monsters, when she should have just immediately warped them away and told them to cut it out. Instead, we're expected to put up with their boring, stupid dialogue that's trying to be funny with stupid voices for way too long. So I don't have as much motivation to watch the plot. Sabrina isn't relatable when she hopes her worthless monster cousins are home. She rings the doorbell and says she's here because Hilda baked cookies for them for some reason. They'll have to divide a dozen cookies evenly. Most of the episode is taken up with the monsters having dumb dialogue. And the plot is so bare, I don't really have to watch most of it. Somehow, the vampire thinks that bringing the monsters to school with Sabrina will be a brilliant idea. Sabrina's got no excuse for being stupid enough to bring the monsters into her school whatsoever. She would have disguised them as humans. That would defeat the point of the plot, but maybe it wasn't a good plot to begin with. All of Sabrina's friends would have been suspicious of Sabrina's cousins because their mouths move, so it's not really a costume. Not just Reggie. Wolfie howls at a mere picture of the moon, and Sabrina turns it into sneezing. How is he that stupid? Does it just not care at how obvious he's being? I have to assume they just want to mess with mortals by scaring them. But that's not sympathetic. The plot is wasted with Reggie wanting to tell Weatherby about monsters and failing because Sabrina used magic, of course. All the monsters' dialogue is worthless failed attempts at comedy, so it's not worth it. Jughead and his friends are grossed out by the monsters clearly saying that they're eating obvious witch food, like batwing burgers. That could have been done with witches, not just monsters. So Sabrina has to use magic to make their food look normal to Reggie. You know, maybe it'd be a more entertaining plot if it was witches using magic in front of mortals at the school. At least it'd be entertaining to see what spell they would use next. That'd require effort. Frankie's walking shakes the floor in the library, and the mummy's bandages get caught in the fan, and we see that he's invisible without them. That's less dark than what you'd expect, and it seems more creative. So Reggie runs off to get Weatherby, and Sabrina uses magic to return the mummy to normal, but knocks over bookshelves after that because her magic doesn't work right with the ghoulies for no reason. And her time is wasted with Weatherby getting mad at Reggie because he sees no evidence of magic and punishing him. It just makes me feel sorry for him. There's not much to say about this plot. It's just another story where the monsters waste our time with the same joke over and over again, going to Sabrina's school for no reason. Didn't they already go to her school? Big deal. The next episode wastes my time as well because there's monsters in it. Some monster kids waste time trying to make money off selling lemonade, or Spider-Aid rather. No wonder they aren't selling any. So she wants to help them, and the horrible monster characters literally take over the entire episode. Why in the world was this written into the show? Jughead can't go to the beach at first because he can't bring his dog to the beach. So Sabrina tells him to leave his dog with the monsters instead of at home like he usually would and like most people usually would. Because they can totally be trusted to look after him. How is she this dumb? And somehow the potion container she's stirring potion in enlarges because the potion was made wrong. So Hilda walks away to get new potion ingredients, while the monster kids with annoying voices waste time talking. One of the kids wants to get the other kids in trouble, and makes Hot Dog big when they're trying to bathe them. Sabrina spends time at the beach and looks at the clouds. Jughead wouldn't see a giant version of his dog and think that it was a cloud. So Sabrina warps a Hot Dog as a result, who's glad that all of the dogs on the block will look up to him now. And somehow she takes forever to turn him to normal. These two episodes don't deserve to be watched because they're extremely simple plots entirely padded out by worthless characters that don't belong in the show. Sabrina has to use magic at first so that Jughead has special glasses that make Hot Dog look way smaller than he is. Well, that is creative and clever. Jughead thinks he just got too much sun at the beach. The story ends with Jughead giving the monster kid money, and Sabrina using magic so that Weatherby, who's being pulled by a bird, forgets what happened just to still be in the air and fall, when Sabrina would have simply warped him to the ground so he'd be safe. At least it makes sense that the potion container was enlarged because it had an enlarging potion in it, and it was made slightly wrong.